Hey everyone, welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today on something pretty crucial to company success.
Yeah.
It's organizational knowledge.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to be looking at chapter 12 from this text,
Okay.
all about managing knowledge, which is kind of like a gold mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then later, we'll dig into a case study
Okay.
about a company, GlobalTech, that completely changed itself
Oh, wow.
using these ideas.
Interesting.
But first, think about this for a second.
Okay.
Your company, right?
Yeah.
Full of all these smart people,
Yeah.
years of experience.
Mm.
But is that knowledge really being used to its
It's full potential.
full potential? Yeah, that's
wow.
what we're going to be exploring today.
Well, what's interesting is that we so often overlook the human side of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
It's not just like data points in a spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the expertise that people have built up over time, those
Mhm.
aha moments, the lessons they've learned.
Right, it's like that one colleague who just
You need to know everything.
They just have a knack for solving those tricky problems.
Yes. Exactly. And that's the kind of knowledge
Yeah.
we're talking about.
Yeah.
So let's break down
Okay.
what is organizational knowledge.
So basically, it's the collective intelligence of a company.
Okay.
It's everything that the people in the company know and how they apply that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And you can think of it as two main types,
Okay.
explicit and tacit.
Explicit and tacit.
Tacit,
Okay.
explicit knowledge is like the easy stuff, right?
Okay.
It's documented things
Uh-huh.
like manuals, reports, guidelines, maybe for onboarding, very carefully crafted.
Right. So it's like the official.
Yeah, the
That's-
playbook.
yeah.
Everyone has access.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can learn from it.
Okay.
But then tacit knowledge,
Yeah.
that's where things get interesting.
Oh, right.
That's the stuff that is hard to write down.
Okay.
Like, how do you explain that engineer's intuition for troubleshooting?
Right. Yeah. Or a sales manager just knows how to close a deal.
You can't explain it.
It's experience.
It's just,
It lives in people's heads.
yeah, it's like you can't just become a chef
Exactly.
by reading a book.
Right.
You have to practice.
You need that practice, and it's almost instinct.
Yes. Yeah.
And so the big question for any company is, how do you capture that?
Right.
How do you share it
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't disappear when people move on?
Yeah. Because if that person leaves,
Exactly.
the knowledge goes with them.
That's right.
So why should I care
Yeah, that's a good question.
about managing knowledge? Like, what's
What's the personal
benefit for me?
benefit, right?
Yeah.
So effective knowledge management
Okay.
can make you a superstar in your role.
Okay.
Seriously, accelerate your career growth.
How so?
Think about it. If you have easy access
Mm-hmm.
to all the company's knowledge,
Yeah.
you can make faster, more informed decisions.
Okay.
Let's say you're in customer service.
Yeah.
You're facing some tricky issue.
Mm.
Instead of, scrambling around,
Yeah.
you can tap into a database of solutions
Mm-hmm.
from past cases.
Oh, wow.
Save time. Keep the customers happy.
Right. So it's like having a cheat sheet for work,
Kind of, yeah.
but in a good way.
In the best possible way.
Yes.
It's about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
And it's not just about finding quick answers.
Okay.
It's about tapping into that collective brain power
Yeah.
to drive innovation.
Okay.
Imagine a team of engineers working on a new product.
Mm-hmm.
If they share their knowledge and insights,
Yeah.
they can avoid reinventing the wheel,
Mm-hmm.
build on each other's expertise,
Mm-hmm.
and come up with game-changing solutions.
It's like they're all contributing to a shared knowledge pool,
Exactly.
and everyone benefits.
Right.
Instead of working in their own little silos.
Silos.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
And here's the thing. By embracing knowledge management,
Okay.
you can actually build your own expertise
Oh, okay.
and leave a legacy for your organization.
How so?
Think about it. When you contribute to the company's knowledge base,
Mm-hmm.
you're sharing your unique insights,
Okay.
helping others avoid those common pitfalls.
Okay.
That makes you a valuable asset.
Yeah.
You become the thought leader,
Mm-hmm.
the go-to person for your area.
So it's not just about taking knowledge.
Right.
It's about giving back
Contributing,
to
yeah.
that ecosystem.
Exactly.
Okay. I like that.
So let's dive into a specific aspect of knowledge management
Okay.
that often gets overlooked.
Okay.
Communities of practice,
Communities of...
or COPs.
Okay.
These are groups of people
Okay.
who share a common interest.
Mm-hmm.
They come together to learn from each other,
Okay.
share their best practices.
So it's like a book club, but for professionals.
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
A space where people with similar passions can connect,
Mm-hmm.
exchange ideas, push each other to grow.
Yeah.
And the beauty of COPs is that they're often informal,
Okay.
voluntary, driven by this genuine desire to learn and share.
So how does that, like, benefit a company? Can you give me an example?
Sure, imagine a company with several software development teams,
Okay.
all working on different projects. They might create a COP for developers to share coding tips, discuss emerging technologies, brainstorm solutions.
Okay.
This kind of cross-team collaboration
Yeah.
improves coding standards, fosters a sense of community.
So instead of each team
Yeah,
figuring things out on their own,
right.
they can all learn from each other,
They learn from each other's successes and failures.
which benefits the whole organization.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And the beauty is that they can be tailored to any area of expertise.
Okay.
You could have a COP for marketing professionals,
Right.
project managers, data analysts, you name it.
Okay, I like that.
So let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
Talk about some practical strategies
I-
for capturing and sharing all this valuable knowledge.
Yeah, let's get tactical. Like, how do I do this?
All right, so there's no one-size-fits-all solution, right?
Okay.
But there are some key strategies.
Mm-hmm.
First, you need to create a central hub
Okay.
for all that valuable knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it like a digital platform, a knowledge repository.
So kind of like a digital library.
Yeah, like a digital library for all the company's know-how.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about the tacit knowledge?
Right.
The stuff that's hard to write down.
That's where mentorship comes in.
Okay.
Encourage those experienced employees
Right.
to mentor newer team members.
Okay.
That's a powerful way to transfer those subtle skills and insights.
Right, like a personal guide
Yeah,
to navigate all that knowledge.
exactly.
Interesting.
And of course, we're in a digital world.
Right.
Tons of collaboration tools that can help.
Yeah.
Think about platforms like wikis,
Okay.
intranets,
Yeah.
where employees can share documents, discuss things.
It's like the virtual water cooler
Yeah.
where the
exactly.
knowledge exchange happens.
That's right.
okay.
And let's not forget about the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Creating a culture where sharing is encouraged,
Right. Okay.
rewarded. People feel comfortable sharing ideas, asking questions.
Right. It's not just about the tools. It's about the culture.
It's about fostering that culture of open communication
Yeah.
and continuous learning.
Okay, so that brings us to the case study of GlobalTech,
Yes.
a company that faced some serious knowledge management challenges.
Mm-hmm.
But before we dive into their story,
Yes.
we need to take a short break.
Okay.
We'll be right back to unpack how GlobalTech transformed itself into a knowledge-sharing powerhouse.
All right. Sounds good. So we left off talking about GlobalTech,
Yes.
a company on the verge of a knowledge crisis.
Right, they were growing so fast.
Rapidly. Yeah.
Offices all over the place.
All over the world.
But their knowledge was all over the place, too.
Scattered and siloed.
Mm-hmm. Sounds familiar.
It's a common problem,
Yeah.
especially for companies growing that quickly.
Yeah.
GlobalTech realized that not having a good way to manage their knowledge was holding them back,
Right.
hurting their innovation and efficiency.
So how'd they fix it? What were the first steps?
It's interesting.
Yeah.
They didn't just throw software at the problem.
Okay.
It was strategic,
Mm-hmm.
multi-phased approach.
All right.
First, they created a central knowledge base,
Okay.
a platform they called TechLink.
So like a central library.
Exactly. One place for all their company knowledge.
That makes sense.
But they knew a platform's only as good as its content,
Right.
and they needed people to actually use it.
Yeah. How'd they do that?
They had to build a culture of knowledge sharing,
Okay.
going beyond just telling people what to do.
Mm-hmm.
One of the key things was restructuring their training
Oh, interesting. They're training programs.
to make them more collaborative.
So not just boring lectures.
Exactly.
Okay.
They used interactive workshops,
Okay.
peer-to-peer learning,
Mm-hmm.
real-world case studies.
So people were actually applying what they learned.
Yeah, actively using the information,
Right.
discussing challenges with their colleagues,
Mm-hmm.
sharing experiences.
Yeah, I like that.
It makes the training so much more relevant.
Mm-hmm. You remember it better.
Exactly. You're actually solving problems.
Yes.
And to capture those aha moments,
explaining.
yeah, they encourage people to document their key takeaways
Okay. Yeah.
and share them on TechLink.
So everyone could benefit.
Yeah, it becomes this growing pool of knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Like a snowball.
Exactly. The more people contribute, the better it gets.
But people are busy. Right.
That's true.
Did they give people any incentive to share?
They did.
Okay, how?
They had a system of rewards
Okay.
for employees who contributed to TechLink.
So if you shared a document,
Best practice, a template, even answering a question.
oh, wow, on the forum.
Yeah, the platform had a discussion forum.
That's a good idea.
It made people feel valued,
Yeah.
appreciated for sharing.
Mm-hmm. It's a positive feedback loop.
Right. The more you share, the more you learn, the more recognition you get.
Okay, so they really thought this through.
They understood that sharing shouldn't feel like extra work.
Mm-hmm.
It should be part of the workflow,
Yeah.
something that benefits everyone.
Okay, so we talked about knowledge repositories,
Yes.
collaborative training.
Mm-hmm.
What other tools are out there?
There's knowledge mapping.
Knowledge mapping, what's that?
It's a visual way to see how knowledge flows in the organization.
Okay.
Highlights the experts, any knowledge gaps, potential bottlenecks.
So you can see where things are working well
Exactly.
and where they're not.
And then you can address those problems.
Right, so you can put strategies in place.
Mentorship, workshops, even just encourage more communication.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
There's also social network analysis.
Social network analysis, what's that?
It helps companies understand the relationships between employees,
Okay.
those informal connections.
Mm-hmm.
They can show you the key influencers, the knowledge brokers.
So like who people go to for help, even if it's not their official role.
Exactly. You can map out the company's unofficial knowledge network.
Okay, that's fascinating.
And then companies can use that information to help knowledge flow better.
Mm-hmm. How do they do that?
Formalize some of those relationships, maybe with mentoring
Okay,
or cross-functional project teams.
interesting.
It's all about making those connections work for the company.
Okay, this is all great stuff,
Mm.
but how do you measure the success of all this?
That's a great question.
Yeah, is it just about how much content gets shared?
That's part of it.
Okay.
But measuring the ROI of knowledge management can be tricky.
But you have to do it, right?
It's important to
Jack?
show that it's worth it.
Right, that it actually makes a difference.
Exactly. And the benefits depend on the company's goals.
Okay.
Some common ones are faster decisions,
Mhm.
more accurate decisions,
Okay.
increased innovation,
Mm-hmm.
less time searching for information,
Right.
even higher employee engagement and retention.
So it's not just about the knowledge itself. It's about what you do with it.
It's about using that knowledge
Yeah.
to achieve the company's goals.
Okay, so let's go back to GlobalTech.
Yes.
See how all this worked for them in their transformation?
One of the most interesting things they did was completely change their performance management system.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of that, like connecting performance reviews with knowledge management.
That's not obvious.
Yeah, so what was their thinking there?
Well, they realized that traditional performance reviews
Yeah.
often focus just on individual achievements,
Okay.
which actually kind of discourage
Doesn't write
knowledge
issues.
sharing. Yeah.
How so?
Well, think about it.
Okay.
If your bonus
Mm.
depends on you doing better than your colleagues,
Yeah,
are you really going to help them succeed?
that's true. It creates competition.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So they needed to change the system.
Okay, so how did they do that?
They shifted the focus
Okay.
from individual performance
Mm-hmm.
to team and organizational success.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so they started looking at knowledge-sharing behaviors.
In the performance reviews?
Yeah, like who was mentoring others,
Okay.
contributing to TechLink, participating in those communities of practice.
So it wasn't just about individual metrics anymore.
Right, it was about how you were helping the whole team.
Yeah, the whole knowledge pool.
Exactly.
That's a really good idea.
It was a big change.
Yeah.
Employees started to see that sharing wasn't just a nice thing to do.
It was part of their job.
It was part of their job, and it could help them get ahead.
Right. Like if you're the go-to expert, people come to you for help.
You become a valuable asset.
Okay, so what happened? What were the results?
Well, the results were pretty impressive.
Okay, in what way?
Well, first of all, employee engagement and retention went way up.
Oh, wow. So people were happier.
People were happier at work.
Oh?
They felt valued for what they knew. They felt more connected to their colleagues.
Right, because of all the collaboration.
Exactly. Those training programs, the communities of practice.
Yeah, it sounds like a much better work environment.
It was, and that wasn't all.
What else?
They saw a big increase in innovation.
Oh, interesting. How come?
By breaking down those knowledge silos, they brought people together with different perspectives.
Right, cross-pollination of ideas.
Exactly, which led to new ideas and better problem solving.
So the whole company got smarter.
The whole company got smarter and more agile,
That's amazing.
and they also became more efficient.
How so?
When people have the information they need,
Yeah.
they can make decisions faster, avoid mistakes.
Right, no more reinventing the wheel.
No more reinventing the wheel.
So it was a win-win for everyone.
It was.
The company got better, the employees were happier.
Exactly. GlobalTech's story really shows how powerful knowledge management can be.
Yeah, this has been a really interesting deep dive.
It has.
We've learned so much about knowledge management. The different types, how to capture it, share it, even measure it.
And we've seen how it can drive innovation, make things more efficient.
And create a better work environment.
Absolutely.
But it's not just for companies.
Right.
These are principles we can all use.
In our own lives.
Exactly. We're all walking knowledge repositories.
We are.
And the better we manage our knowledge, the better we'll do.
And whatever we choose to do.
So as we wrap up today, we want to leave you with a challenge.
Okay.
Think about one thing you can do this week
This week.
to apply these principles to your own life.
Maybe find a mentor.
Yeah, or join a community.
Start your own knowledge base.
Whatever it is,
Take action
start harnessing the power of knowledge.
to achieve your goals.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks, everyone.